Championship. The unfurling of the League One title flag means a brief glance back, but they're already looking ahead to the Premiership next year. To get there, Rangers must overcome two unexpected hurdles, both Edinburgh clubs. It's been 31 years since Hearts played in the second tier. They were relegated from the Premiership after a 15-point deduction. Now, though, it's a level playing field. They're out of administration, have a new owner, and in the dressing room, Robbie Neilson is the new head coach. Stadium accommodated the Rugby Sevens during the Commonwealth Games last month. It's back to hosting Scotland's national sport today. It looks glorious in high definition on Sky Sports 1 HD, and it's also on Sky Go for mobiles. Well, two of Scotland's most famous clubs meeting together for the first time in the second tier of Scottish football. And Hibs also in the Championship. It's going to be the most exciting year ever at this level. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Neil McCann, who won trophies at both of these clubs, and Walter Smith, who won just 21 trophies in two spells as Rangers manager. Walter, lovely to have you in to do a Rangers game with us. What do you think is required at this season for Rangers, for the club to properly progress?
I think it's fairly simple. They have to get promotion. They have to get themselves into the Premier Division. I don't think there's any other way forward for Rangers. I mean, they're 3 years out of the Premier Division. I think it's not been the best thing for Scottish football. But for Rangers Football Club especially, they have to get back into the Premier Division in one season.
Neil, Hearts, of course, and Craig Levein as Director of Football. He sacked Gary Locke, an inexperienced manager, and he brought in Robbie Neilson, who's even less. What did you make of that decision, given what's required this particular year?
I was very surprised. I wasn't surprised at Craig going into Hearts, because I think it was one of the worst kept secrets around in Scottish football at the time. But the sacking of Gary Locke surprised me. It disappointed me. And then to go and replace him with Robbie was a clincher, because Robbie has little or no experience at first team level. I know he worked with Falkirk, but I don't know what kind of input he had in the team there. Now he's saying that he's going to have full hands-on choosing of the starting 11, at least it takes a park. I'm not sure that will be the case, because I think Craig will have to guide him. Due to that experience, I hope he does get that opportunity to pick the team, because after all, he'll fall. Either rise or fall on his decisions, and he wants to make his own decisions, not one of Craig Levein's.
Well, the Rangers team is without doubt chosen by Ali McCoy. So let's have a look at that. Walter, Zaliukas, former Hearts captain, makes his debut. Return for Miller and Boyd. What's the game plan, do you think, from that lineup?
Well, I think when you look at it overall, I think they're struggling to get the proper balance there. Lewis McLeod in the right is not a wider player, but is playing well. Ian Black into the middle areas of the pitch in there with David Templeton. I mean, I think that's a stronger Rangers team as we're likely to see for the season. They'll have to settle down, and I think if that team is allowed to settle down and play, we'll see Rangers as strong as they have been. And I think with that team, if they do settle in a manner that we would hope, would be favourites for promotion from the division.
Neil, 5 new players in the Hearts lineup. Well, is it all about settling down for them? Is it a gamble playing so many new guys?
Yeah, well, listen, they have to get them in if they're signing them. They have to see if they're good enough, first and foremost, and there's no harder place to come than to see if they are good enough. The really important area of the pitch for me is going to be through the middle there. Nicholson, Bladwin, Gomez and King. I think they're going to have to play narrow, because I think in there, because that's where they'll have to feed Miller and Boyd. No longer is it going to be smashing it up for Big John Daly. They're going to have to thread things through, and those 4 guys in particular are going to have to work ever so hard to protect and support.
Well, definitely older and probably wiser. Chris Boyd and Kenny Miller are back at Ibrox, where previously they did their best work.
Kenny, looking at Chris, where has he changed since you last played together?
To be honest, I wouldn't want him to change at all. I mean, it's for some, if you can guarantee a striker that's going to get you 25, 30 goals a season, you wouldn't want to change that. That knacky kind of finding the space in the box and that ball dropping and him putting it away, we don't want to change that.
You know, my most successful time was playing beside Kenny. I really enjoyed it. You know, he'd done a lot of work for me, creating space for me to be in the box.
You're going to return the favour this time round?
Do you want me to be honest?
I did a few times.
I did.
You're probably a lot of assists.
That must have been coming back off the goalie. You know, don't be kidded that, you know, he's still chipped in with 15 towards 20 goals a season. Level, and we demand that from you know, ourselves, from our teammates.
So we're absolutely delighted to be back here, and it's great to have familiar faces alongside you as well. For us, the championship this year is going to be a big test for us. We want to get that fear factor back in the Ibrox. We need to start that, and like we said, it's a right chance to put a marker down this week.
And there they are together again. Walter, they last played together here when you were manager. Did Kenny Miller do some of his best work alongside Chris Boyd?
Yes, I think he did. I don't think there's any doubt that they're a good partnership. Kenny has good movement, you know, Chris is a good finisher. And, you know, he talks there about scoring 40 goals in the season. If they do that, Rangers will get promotion. And I think they can do that. I don't think there's any doubt that, given that they get decent supply, as Neil mentioned earlier, I think, you know, the midfield areas of the pitch, especially for Rangers, are a bit where they've got to show improvement football-wise this season. And if they can get the ball to the two strikers, supply an opportunity, then I don't think there's any doubt that these two players can help Rangers clinch the promotion.
Well, on Chris Boyd, I know he's said that he's developed an understanding of what he has to do to help the team. Would you sacrifice work rate for just solid goals?
I'm a bit worried about that. When I heard them talk about that, I read about it in newspapers as well. He's a finisher. He's an out-and-out finisher. He's not a player who can go outside the penalty area. And while, as you get older, his knowledge has increased, he maybe knows what he has to do to try and help the team and work a little bit harder. But I think we've got to be careful that he doesn't take away from what is Chris Boyd, and that's goals.
Well, coming up next, managers or head coach, to give Robbie Neilson his correct job title. He arrived, of course, in the summer alongside Director of Football Craig Levein. This is his first league game in charge, and it's a fixture that has been much missed over the past 2 seasons.
Sky Sports makes history once again as we broadcast its first ever live match. Well, how fitting it is that the two teams who brought the curtain down on last season in the Tennent Scottish Cup final should meet on this historic day.
Looking forward to this very much indeed.
It's a fascinating fixture here, not bad for starters. Looking forward to the game. McCann, for me, one of the best players in the league last year, and he'll do well again this year, I'm sure. It's the first competitive match of the season on Sky Sports. And it might come through to Stefan Adam! Oh, what a start! For Hearts! Great start for Hearts, disaster for Rangers. Here's Hamilton. Will it be 2? Oh, yes, it will! 2-0 to Hearts. Jim Hamilton. Rod Wallace with a great chance. And Rangers are back in the game. And Hearts have beaten Rangers by 2-1. How important could that be as we move all the way till May on Sky Sports?
Well, Rangers won it in the end. Nice haircut. Did that performance there and your performances around that time earn you your move to Rangers?
We won 2-1 that game, David. Sorry. Listen, the biggest thing about that was that we'd just come on the back of, sorry, Walter, about winning the Scottish Cup in '98, and we felt almost invigorated because beating the Old Firm gives a team a massive amount of confidence. So then when we Advocates side, we thought, right, we'll go and win the league here, and Hearts have to take that into the game today. They've got so many youngsters. If they had to get a result today, that could just absolutely propel them through this league.
Well, last August, Robbie Neilson played in an East Fife team which lost 5-0 to Rangers in League One. Today he meets Ally McCoist in very different circumstances. Let's hear from the two managers now. They've been talking to Luke Shanley.
Ali, Rangers against Hearts in the Championship. Can you put this game into context for us?
Well, it's certainly, you would think it'd be one of the biggest games in the Championship. You know, it's a fixture that's been massive throughout Scottish football. More so are always in the top flight and indeed cup finals and things like that. So it's a little bit strange in the respect that it's not in the top flight. Obviously, with ourselves and Hearts and Hibs being in the Championship, it's certainly got a real added interest for the Championship and indeed Scottish football.
Robbie, a new era for Hearts. What can we expect from your Hearts team today?
Yeah, hopefully a lot of energy, a lot of positive play, a lot of football, and hopefully a good result.
Against Rangers, how can you get at them? And did you look at midweek, the Hibs game, and did you see any way that you can get at them?
Rangers are a very experienced team. We know that. We know coming here it's going to be very difficult for us, so we must make sure that our game's really positive and it's 100%. And if we can do that, then I'm confident we can take something from the game.
Well, good luck to Robbie Neilson, just 34, making his league debut as a manager, head coach to be technically correct. Started his career at Rangers as a youth, then had played for Craig Levein at Cowdenbeath on loan, Hearts and Leicester. Walter capped him, his one cap playing against the Ukraine. How big a task will it be for this young guy coming into this job with or without Craig Levein's help? Will he need Levein's help?
He'll need the help of a lot of people there. I mean, like any manager does. A starting position, like Neil said, I was a little bit surprised that put an inexperienced manager into this position. He's got to show that he can handle it. Craig Levein can only help him so much of the time. He has got to go out and do most of the stuff on his own. It's going to be a hard task for him, especially if things don't go particularly well for him. So, big proving ground. Hearts are a big club. They've got an impetus if they can get a result today. I would say to you that it's a difficult task for them, considering that both Hibs and Rangers are in it, and someone's going to have to fall by the wayside in this one. But Hearts have got a bit of strength in their team, and hopefully, they can get back up again. Scottish football needs them all. Unfortunately, 3 of them can't get themselves promotion this season, so one has to stay.
Well, in a moment, the Govan stand behind me will be renamed the Sandy Jardine stand. Sandy, of course, died of cancer at the end of last season. He was a legend at Rangers and also at Hearts, and Alex McDonald was by his side at both clubs.
I think it'd be very emotional, yeah. When you start talking about him, to me, it gets very emotional. He was a great pal, great guy.
And will it be a fitting tribute today?
Oh, aye. Absolutely fantastic. I think every Rangers supporter will be really pleased.
How big a figure in Rangers history was Sandy Jardine?
Big time. You don't get a stand or anything like that for not doing anything at Ibrox. He was fantastic. I mean, he could play anywhere basically. Yeah, I mean, he was very, very fit, calm. Didn't as much. I didn't like that part of him, but he had plenty of pace about him. He was a great player.
In terms of the footballing side at Hearts, how big an influence was he in the renaissance at that club in the early 80s?
We worked really hard. There was a lot of talking. We sat down and spoke about things, and we tried to help the kids. It was great.
This Hearts Rangers game, what does it mean to both of you? How big an event is this?
I think it's massive for both of them. Obviously, Rangers are trying to get back up there. And Hearts will obviously want to get back up right away. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year.
And that was the former Govan stand, now it's the Sandy Jardine stand, and that, Walter Smith, is clearly a wonderful tribute. How deserving was Sandy Jardine of that, given his contribution here?
Well, couldn't think anybody that deserves it more. Had a fantastic career at Rangers. He's always a great club. And everyone that knew him was so sorry for what happened to him. And I think if you looked at someone who epitomised Rangers, it was Sandy Jardine.
We should remember he went to Tynecastle School and he had that 8-year period at Hearts. How big a job did he do, along with Alex McDonald, in turning Hearts into what they are now?
Well, Alex and Sandy did a fantastic job. If we're talking about, Hearts getting into the Premier Division, or as Neil said, they weren't here at Ibrox to start the season, thought they were going to win the league. Sandy and Alec nearly did that, losing out in the last day of the season, both for the Scottish Cup and the league. So he did both of them did a fantastic job there. So they were pals, and no doubt Alec will miss them as much as anyone.
He certainly will. And the Barcelona Bears, there they are, Willie Matheson and Dave Smith, Derek Johnson behind them there, teammates of Sandy Jardine from 1972 in that European Cup winning team. And Neil, you get the feeling that that team there, like the Lisbon Lions, are like a band of brothers.
You know, I think the one thing that comes is a closeness that all the players shared. So many times just now in the modern game, the players will come together obviously for training and playing, but apart from that they don't really socialise together. I think these teams were brought up in that, they were together all the time, they were, as I said, after training, always together, and you've seen the strength of that come through on a football pitch. Sandy Jardine is a remarkable man. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he was brilliant with me when I came to the club here at Rangers. He helped me a lot, he was always full of advice, and there's a few legends are around this stadium now, John Gregg, Sandy Jardine and the late David Cooper of course, so you know, it's a fitting tribute.
And do you think, Walter, that given the troubles in recent years, that the legends like Sandy Jardine, like yourself, with like all these old guys, are all the more important?
Look, I think people that have got a good relationship with a club are always important. You know, you mentioned there about the Barca Bears there, you know, the guys that are coming out, they're a big part of Rangers history. Sandy Jardine was a huge part of Rangers history, and clubs need that, especially clubs like Rangers that are big clubs. They need to hold on to their traditions, and Sandy Jardine was a big part of that.
Quick word about the game while we're waiting for them to come out. How important is it for both of these to get a good result today? First of all, Hearts, Neil.
It's important to get off to a winning start. Hibs managed to do it yesterday, thrown into the mix a goal, which is quite new, but it's important to gain momentum, because it's going to be a difficult league, as I said before. Part-time teams in this league are fitter than ever before. There's managers there wanting to make their name in the mark, so they want to get the player position, so Hearts can't afford not to pick up points early on. Of course it's going to be difficult today against the favourites.
And we'll have a title race as well in the Championship this year. How important? Because we clearly saw in League One last year, and even in the Premiership with Celtic running away with it, the league suffered, don't they, without a title race?
Yeah, it's a big thing. I think the level of competition would be good for Scottish football again, and it's coming in the Championship. But for Rangers Football Club, as I said previously, there's only one thing that matters, and that's that they get promotion. That's the biggest single factor for Rangers Football Club, so it's vitally important they get off to a good start, build the momentum and keep going from there.
They were criticised last year, Rangers, for the style of play. Does it matter, or do you think it will change with Miller and Boyd back?
Well, they had, 2 years ago, they never had a team. They only got their licence to play the day before. So there was always going to be problems in terms of style. Style can go out the window for a great deal of the time. Rangers have to win. So that's what they have to do first and foremost. But there's a lot of pressure on them this year to start playing in a better manner. And I think their midfield especially have to try and do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what I think they have to be more creative through the middle of the park. The thing is, when you have a big striker daily up front, sometimes you do get dragged into going back to front, but it was effective. As I said, they scored over 100 goals in the league, and now they've gone and added Kim Miller and Chris Boyd. I tell you, the rest of the Championship must be thinking, oh my God, when we face Rangers, we're going to have to defend like absolute warriors and try and steal things, because coming to Ibrox is difficult at the best of times, but when you're coming against such a strength and depth of squad. So yeah, Walter's right, only 2 places up for grabs, 1 automatic, 1 playoff. Is going to be a right good season ahead.
And the Hearts team in the tunnel there, Danny Wilson, you had him as a teenager at Rangers. They were very, very young last year. A lot more experience in that Hearts team. If he's added the right experience with the good youth from last year that Gary Locke got through, it'll be a successful season for Hearts that they can exploit that.
It may well be. Like everything else, that's what they have to prove. Rangers themselves have to show that they can step up from the previous 2 seasons. Hearts are coming down a league, but they have to show that they can handle the Championship. They're good experience for their younger players last season, but it's down to how they play. And this is a big test for them today, and we'll see how they handle that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test. It's going to be a great game. A lot to get through even before kick-off, and guiding us through it all are our commentators, Andy Walker and first, Ian Walker.
The Championship season starts here for Rangers and Hearts, and it promises to be a highly competitive game. First day results sometimes count for little, but not for these two teams today. They will be eager to lay down a mark. On a day when Rangers remembers one of its true greats, a player and a gentleman, Sandy Jardine stand, and of course he had connections with Hearts as well, so it's fitting that his stand should be christened today. Last year, Sandy unfurled the flag. Today, that job goes to another true blue there, the current captain, Lee McCulloch.
At the opening game of last season, Sandy Jardine, and it was an honour he was immensely proud of. The Rangers supporters gave him a deserved ovation that day, and following in Sandy's footsteps this afternoon is club captain Lee McCulloch. The 2013-14 champions, Rangers Football Club.
The journey back continues for Rangers. From champions of the bottom division to champions of League One. What next?
Alan Cross dedicated last season's League One title to Sandy Jardine, and his 50-year contribution to Rangers, both on and off the park, will never be forgotten. He epitomised the dignity, standards and traditions that are the hallmarks of this club, and Sandy's name will forever be associated with Rangers and today's opponents, Hearts, who he also played for and co-managed with great distinction. Sandy won 5 Scottish Cups, 5 League Cups, and the European Cup Winners' Cup with the White Blues, and is rightly regarded as one of the finest players ever to grace the Ibrox turf. When he returned to work in the club in a non-playing role, he was based in Gavin Stand, so it is entirely fitting that stand is now renamed in his honour. Ladies and gentlemen, in memory of a Rangers legend and a truly great man, this Sandy Jardine stand.
A tribute to a great man and a great player. Rangers Football Club remembers Sandy Jardine.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, show your appreciation for the Barcelona Bears.
Let's have a look at today's teams. 4 ex-Hearts players line up for Rangers: Marius Saliukas, Lee Wallace, Ian Black and David Templeton, who starts after starring as a sub against Hibs. Is back for a second spell at Ibrox, Kenny Miller for a third. Nearly 200 Rangers goals between those two. Last season's top scorer John Daly is injured, Bilal Mosny is suspended. 2 former Rangers players line up for Hearts: keeper Neil Alexander and skipper Danny Wilson. Prince Warden and Mogaro Gomez are reunited. They were perfect partners in Dundee United's midfield under Craig Dean. Alim Öztürk and Osman Sow are other new arrivals. Callum Paterson is injured. Scott Robinson and Jamie Walker are new arrival. Darren McGregor is on the bench for Rangers after leaving St. of last season. Keeper Scott Gallagher left Rangers for Hearts just last month. He is on their bench. Back in blue, Chris Boyd has returned to Rangers after scoring 22 goals for Kilmarnock last season. And back in blue too, Kenny Miller. They've scored 66 goals in 51 starts for Rangers, together again. The Hearts have liked the look of this man, Osman Sow. Previously at Crystal Palace, he's scored 4 goals in 4 games. Bobby Nilsson was at Rangers as a boy before leaving for Hearts at the age of 16. He's their new head coach now, with Craig Levein back at the club as director of football. These two met here on the opening day 3 years ago. Quite a lot has happened to them since. If you told them in 2011 that by 2014 they'd be meeting in the second tier of Scottish football, they'd have thought you were having a laugh.
Yeah, looking forward to the game, Ian, and you just wonder who's going to come out on top in this very competitive league this season. Rangers' budget would suggest they're going to walk away with it in a similar manner done in the last couple of years, but if the evidence of the way Hibs played during the week in the cup tie is anything to go by, I think Rangers are going to find it really tough.
Lee McCoy's first game as Rangers manager was that match against Hearts here 3 years ago. Little did he realise then quite what lay ahead. Chris Boyd looking to link up with Jordan McGee, coming in at right back with Callum Patterson injured. Lee Wallace takes over. Chris Boyd waiting to receive. It's an awkward angle, but it's a corner already for Rangers.
Yeah, no support in the box there. Boyd, even on the left side, quite happy to have a pop at goal. He'll certainly settle for this corner.
Lewis McLeod take it. Away by the former Rangers keeper Neil Alexander, who played in the UEFA Cup final for them. Foster, Black, Zaliukas. So often seen in Hearts colours. Now after a season at Leeds United, back in Scottish football, but with Rangers. Ian Black, Lee Wallace, former Jambos as well, Nicky Law. Now Foster with McLeod ahead. Challenged by Billy King. Gomez and Boisben, they're together again as well, a bit like Boyd and Miller. They were so effective alongside each other in Dundee United's midfield for a few years. They know each other rather well.
Yeah, I think game of the season I watched Hearts of Tynecastle play against Ireland, and Gary Gomez dominated the game, obviously against weaker opponents than they're up against today, but he will have a huge influence on the way Hearts play this season.
Never too far from each other. McCulloch underneath that. Craig Thompson is the referee. Nicky Law. Trapped by Osman Sow. Danny Wilson saw that coming with Kenny Miller loitering. Zaliukas. Knocked on by Law. Wallace now. And Templeton is taken out.
Good play from Templeton. If you get constant fouls like that, pressure on your opponents, they'll pick up some cards, and he's got that ability to drift past players so easily.
Lee McCulloch, always a good bet for a goal. In Boyd and Miller at the moment as Black sends it in. McCulloch couldn't get near it, wasn't allowed to. Neither Boyd.
Well, I thought it was a really good delivery. If you see here, just at the end, no one getting a touch on it. Boyd hoping that the referee was going to give a corner, but played into that deep zone at the back post there.
Alexander sold a little short here. He's just about recovered, but that was a scare.
Always a problem when goalkeepers think they're good footballers. Neil Alexander, I think, shouldn't be looking to clear that. Just get it away, even with his left foot. Put it out for a corner, put it out for a throw-in. Don't try and be a footballer.
Spent 5 years with the Rangers. Left last year, had a season at Crystal Palace. It's a forlorn chase there for Osman Sow, who also had a year at Crystal Palace. 3 goals in pre-season, then another against Annan Athletic in the Challenge Cup. Swedish striker making quite an early impression. Wallace. Foster. McCarthy. So, McCulloch. Mickey Law. Templeton. King. Determination from Miller. Now Law. Black. Foster. Rangers progressing nicely. McLeod. Played by Wilson. By Öztürk. This is Carrick. It's opening up a little bit. Dale Carrick.
Poor choice of pass there, had to go wide. Did so well, Carrick, to pick up that ball in the middle of the park and drive towards the Rangers defence, but the ball surely had to be wide and he could himself get into the box to support the cross.
Foster. McLeod. Here's Zaliukas. Law. Templeton ran into Gomez, but now Wallace. McCulloch. Foster. Miller up against Wilson. Lewis McLeod arrives in support.
Good play that from Rangers, because McLeod went short and McHattie followed him. Kenny Miller just made the move into the space to receive that, and then he's quite clever enough here. Lovely layoff into the space for McLeod to hit it first time. Better with that cross.
May have sailed through the bottom 2 divisions on their journey back, but now they've got Hibs and Hearts to contend with, and the likes of Falkirk and Queen of the South, Wraith Rovers. They might have a bit to offer too in this division. Culloch away, only as far as Nicholson. Lee Wallace is going to sort him out though. He sorts a few out.
Top-class defending from Wallace. That's exactly the type of protection that the central defenders and the goalkeeper are looking for. Just denying the opposition the chance to even get a cross into the box. Great stuff.
Fourth season in charge for Ali McCoist, with Kenny McDowell there alongside him.
If he'd kept it low, I'm sure Kenny Miller would have been able to control that. Rangers might have had a chance.
Rangers edge past Hibs here on Tuesday night in the Challenge Cup. Now Edinburgh's other side are at Ibrox, some way to start the season. Hearts played their Challenge Cup tie a couple of weeks ago and beat Annan Athletic 3-1. They did win 4-0 at St Johnstone last weekend in Stephen Anson's testimonial. McHattie, Boadman, McGee, Carrick chasing. Kenny Bell will allow McGee wasn't quite as advanced as Nicholson believed. Skittles when he got there, Mike.
Well, I think the surface encourages players to make this type of challenge. Craig Thompson just having a quiet word. I'm sure he won't produce any yellow cards here, but he's having a look at Jordan McGee, and you can see here using the surface just to try and slide through and get that ball. Templeton on the receiving end.
And looking rather unimpressed about it. Gomez, Wilson, King, So, King, Foster takes charge. On by Boyd, flicked on by Miller, but nobody ahead of him. Öztürk, new arrival from Trabzonspor. Full challenge on McCulloch, who stays down. Nicholson fires wide.
Still down, and I think he'll be complaining to the referee that he took one in the face here, but Craig Thompson was right on it. Both players focused on the ball. There was more contact in his chest than anything else. Neither player really winning it cleanly. It was actually McCulloch's head that laid it off. Still having words with the referee, Thompson there.
Boadman, McHattie, King, McHattie, brings Boadman nearby, so too Billy King. Gomez. McLeod, Boyd chasing, but Wilson should have this under control.
Well, you can see in the possession this early, pretty much half and half. But on that occasion there, I think you're going to see that from Hearts a lot this season, Ian. Players are going to be asked to take the ball, even although they might be under a bit of pressure. Just in general play, the centre-backs will split, the full-backs are pushing on, and they're trying to build in the back. When it works, it's very pleasing on the eye, but don't get caught on the ball. The manager will soon let you know all about it.
Cloud. Sneak through. Kenny Miller. Oh, it's put over by Templeton. What a chance for Rangers.
I cannot believe he hasn't hit the target here. Miller does well to realise he's got more space. It's blocked from Ozturk. I can't believe he hasn't hit the target. There's no pressure on him. All he has to do is guide it towards the net. At the very worst, make Alexander make a save. That's a remarkable miss.
Glaring from David Templeton, with the goal gaping. Almost smiling at him. But over and out. One that got away for David Templeton and Rangers. That could have settled things down for them nicely. So, it was a powerful... Black as tenacious as ever. Here's Miller. Spreading it to Wallace. Templeton, tripped by Gomez.
There's a bit of focus and attention on Templeton, even with his back to goal. Hearts players getting close to him, this is what he can do.
Boivin intercepts. This Boyd wasn't too far away from that.
Well, he's missed a sitter, Templeton, but I think Rangers have to feed him. They have to try and get him on the ball. I thought they lacked a bit of creativity during the week against Hibs. He's the type of player who can ghost past opponents, get balls into the box, get to the byline, offer a bit of penetration, and you really need to put a bit of pressure on him to produce that.
Wallace. Handy position for Rangers. First yellow card was shown to Jordan McGee.
Yeah, I think Jordan McGee had been spoken to by Craig Thompson earlier. There are a number of fouls he's already committed. You'll need to be careful now for the next 70 minutes or so.
An opportunity for Rangers, for sure. It's Ian Black to take it. Away by McNatty. Not his best free kick. And as a result, there go Saliukas and McCulloch trudging back from whence they came. Foster. Cloud. Wallace. Black. Ozturk playing a dangerous game there. It hadn't gone out. It's onto the roof of the net, and Rangers failing to make the most of that. Never looked like it was going to go out, really.
Well, again, I think it's a missed opportunity. Poor defending from Ozturk. There's no pace on that ball for it to go out. Wallace does well. But look at that there from Templeton. He's got to give Chris Boyd a chance to get a header. I think earlier on you can see there Wallace. That's what warranted the yellow card.
Craig Levein back as director of football. Robbie Nilsson, the head coach, someone he has known rather well over the years.
Yeah, Jack Ross being appointed the under-20s coach, working with the first team as well. Great opportunity for him also.
Kevin McHattie certainly becoming a solid and dependable left back. Danny Wilson takes it towards So. Free kick. James Osmond So.
Yeah, and I think Hearts will enjoy that physical presence they've got up front now. So I think quite happy to mix it with the best of them. It's a clear foul on Black here. But just in general, his physical presence, as well as his pace and his touch, will help Hearts win more games than they lose this season.
Yeah, he's 6 foot. Wallace. Templeton. Back by McGee. Wallace putting Gomis under pressure. Pressure pays off as Rangers get the throw. Miller's cross. Black and Zaliukas in each other's way. Well, they know each other rather well from their Hearts days as well.
Well, Black is saying Zaliukas can see everything. There should be better communication on his part, but what a tackle that was on his teammate.
Wallace for Nicky Law. Away by Öztürk. McLeod. Foster. Billy King stuck with him.
Good work from Foster though. When he played the pass, he went beyond him, the overlap and run. Keep Rangers on the attack.
McLeod. Templeton with another header, this time wide.
Well, I think he's had the best two opportunities, Templeton. Obviously that miss with the header and then the potential to get that cross in for Boyd. Rangers could be a goal in front had he been on top form.
Came on and made quite a difference against Hibs in midweek, earning the right to start today. Foster. Good mistake from Öztürk. Nicky Law for Kenny Miller. Not quite.
Öztürk again jail just a few minutes ago, trying to let that ball run through to the byline. Here a poor pass, gifting Rangers possession. In the end he does well to get back and deny Kenny Miller the chance to have a pop at goal.
Good to see John Gregg at Ibrox today to join the tributes to his great friend and great teammate Sandy Jardine. And the Rangers fans have just clocked him, and he's clocked himself. Screen. Nicholson. Caught out by Wallace. McLeod can't get past McHattie though. Now King. So's cross. Carrick trying to get to it. Closely watched by Wallace. And Templeton lost out there. Wilson. Knocked on by McHattie. King. There's a case that might have come off King, but he has got the throw.
Well, he had a decent chance inside the box earlier on, just made a complete hash of the cutback inside the box, didn't get any sort of connection on it at all.
King. By Zaliukas before Carrick could get near it. Lewis McLeod seeking out Chris Boyd, but McGee there for Hart.
I think what we're seeing is a number of individual mistakes from both sides, and that may well lead to the opening goal. Levels of concentration not quite 100% this early in the season, but neither side really able yet to take advantage of the two mistakes that we've seen.
Desmond So makes contact with Ian Black, the man. And it's going to be a yellow card for So.
Well, I'm all for a physical game, but put from So. He knew he'd lost control of the ball, picks up a needless yellow card, puts himself under pressure. He knows he's not winning that, he just wanted to make contact with Ian Black, leave his mark on him, and quite rightly, with Craig Thompson just a yard or so away, picks up a yellow.
Desmond So joins Jordan McGee in the book with almost half an hour played at Ibrox. Zaliukas slithered away from Lee Wallace. Wallace, Miller, Zaliukas, Miller, Black. Now Foster, McLeod ahead of him. McLeod spinning away from McHattie, in towards Boyd. Just crowded. McLeod covered by McGee, but in the meantime has stayed down, and that's why Ian Black will kick it out.
Yeah, it was a bit late, the ball coming in. Both are actually, I think you might put it down to the conditions. McHattie coming in, Miller gets there first and takes a sore one.
Rangers went through the whole of last season's league campaign without losing. Their last defeat was towards the end of the season before to Peterhead here. It should be a whole lot tougher this time around, though, judging the quality in the Championship. Miller. Nicky Law quickly in on Gomez. Chris Boyd, Neil Alexander.
Again, sensible refereeing. Count the conditions. I think one or two of these pass backs have been a bit low on pace for Neil Alexander's liking, but I think it was the surface there more than anything else that led to the collision.
Offside here. It's Boyd. McHattie. Again. Gomez. Who's Turk? Boaben. Flag stays down against Osman Sow.
Well, he appreciates the attempted pass. He's lightning quick, Osman Sow. Rangers have to be aware not only of his ability with the ball at his feet, but he's certainly quick enough to get in behind that Rangers defence.
Billy King. Nicholson. Will be retrieved by Sow. Shadowed by Foster. He's got a corner off Foster. Quick feet.
Yeah, good feet. He's happy to settle for the corner, get himself back into the box, but showing all of his ability here, the physical side of the game. I think he's half decent in the air, but clearly his pace and his skill with the ball at his feet will trouble defences this season.
King's corner. Danny Wilson on the end of it.
Yeah, just as he did earlier on, getting involved in a bit of a wrestling match with Lee Wallace. He wins the header again, but Wallace, I think, does enough just to put him off, and he's not getting it back into the danger area.
Came through the Rangers Academy before leaving for Liverpool. Robbie Nilsson, who served out so well as a player, one short of 250 games for them. McLeod, a foul by McHattie. He might be getting a card as well. He is. There's 3 Hearts players booked.
Yeah, I'm surprised that merits a yellow card. It's clearly a foul. Like McLeod here, his head gets on it, but I don't think that's worthy of a yellow.
Both full-backs have been booked along. So Zaliukas and McCulloch have joined Boyd and Miller as potential targets for Black. Black in, and it's Zaliukas who puts it just wide, close.
Yeah, I think just slightly too high for him. It's a decent ball into the box, but for Zaliukas where he is, I think it's just slightly too high to guide it towards the target. Kenny Miller, I think, frustrated that he didn't leave it. He was behind him.
Zaliukas, who spent 7 years at Hearts, the Scottish Cup with them. Cloud. Wilson taking no chances in Miller's presence. Foster's throw, easily dispatched by Wilson. Lovely touch from Osman Sow. It's Carrick now. Some burst this from Hearts. And just needed Ian Black to sort things out sharpish. Templeton. Gomez for King. Boaben was tripped by Zaliukas. Just wonder if that might be a card. No, it's. Well, yes, it is going to be a card for Marius Zaliukas.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cynical. Again, I think he realised he wasn't getting the ball. You can see the deliberate attempt as Hearts were going on the break. One of their central defenders out of the box, and I think he's quite happy to take a yellow there.
He's collected a few of them over the years. keeping a close watch on Osman Sow, and no wonder as McGee floated in. Went near a Wilson, but it was dealt with by Zaliukas. Wilson again! Oh, no takers, some cross.
Yeah, I don't think Wilson can do any better. Lovely pass, shaped to take the shot here, Gomez, and found Wilson. He can't do any better than that. And actually at the front post. He can't quite guide it towards the target. Was it Öztürk? That was a real chance for Hearts.
Halim Öztürk, Turkish under-21 international, was farmed out on loan by Trabzonspor last season, was actually relegated to the third tier of Turkish football with his loan club. Billy King. It's gone out. Zaliukas. Foster. McLeod. Chris Boyd makes himself available and feeds Kenny Miller. Nobody in the box yet, although Nicky Law makes a little surge. Miller gets a free kick.
Well, they haven't had a lot of chances to link up this afternoon, but Boyd and Miller, they are showing there's a great understanding with them. Boyd coming short, feeding Miller into the corner. Miller, as usual, alive and alert, finding a bit of space and actually brought down there. Gives Rangers the chance again to get a ball into the box. And Ian Black, I think, has to deliver better quality of ball.
There's a queue forming. McCulloch, Zaliukas, Boyd, Miller, Nicky Law making a little run in. Change of tack though, as Black finds Miller. Foster. Don't think that will count as a back pass.
Yeah, they're always looking to the referee for a bit of guidance, the goalkeepers there, and Milan Alexander got it from Craig Thompson that he could pick it up. And you're right, it wasn't a deliberate back pass. He didn't want to take any chances though.
McLeod. So, posing again, Carrick. So's cross, and it was Nicholson who came in to meet it.
Well, again, that was down to Osman Sow on the halfway line, just not even winning the ball, but putting Foster off. Did so well to pick out his teammate there with a tempting cross. Nicholson could have done better.
Templeton. That header from Sam Nicholson was the first effort on target in this first half. Sends it away for a corner.
Well, he had to get that right, Öztürk. Kenny Miller's pace driving beyond him there.
Elevation for the bright prospect that is Lewis McLeod as he goes across to take this corner. Touch from Alexander. Gomez. King, whose brother Adam left Hearts for Swansea City at the start of the year. It's a foul by Foster on Carrick.
Foster protesting his innocence, saying he didn't do anything there. other than just the two hands in the back.
Here's King. To ground. The Hearts fans certainly appealed for something, but a bit more than the players did. Wilson. It's so. Foster step. Strong into the half from Hearts. Gomez. Carrick. Nicholson. Gomez. McHattie now for King. It's a corner off McLeod.
Well, this was a minor claim, I think, that flick there. King get into the box and then Law making ever so slight contact. I think the referee got it right. It wasn't a penalty, but Hearts still on the ascendancy here. Edge towards half-time. They'll get the opportunity for another ball into the box.
There'll be no significant stoppage time at the end of this half either, so this should be the last chance. This will be some way to end the half for Hearts. King takes it. Flicked on by Danny Wilson, but Kenny Miller is going to be first to it. Some start to the championship season. It's the Edinburgh Derby next Sunday from midday on Sky Sports 3. It is half-time. David Templeton really should have put Rangers ahead against his former club, but he popped his header over the bar and then failed to set up Chris Boyd for a chance. But Hearts are certainly having their moments as well. Half-time though, in this opening championship encounter at Ibrox, it's Rangers 0, Hearts 0.
So Chris Boyd is back at Rangers, Kenny Miller too, but no goals at either end of the pitch. But it's been good to have football back in this first 45 minutes here in the SPFL Championship. The views coming up of Neil McCann and Walter Smith, who joins us this afternoon, I'm pleased to say. Well, no doubt about the best chance of the game. How on earth did he miss that one? The answer is... Welcome back to Ibrox in the opening weekend of the SPFL season. It's Rangers 0, Hearts 0. Both sides have had 5 attempts on goal, but only Sam Nicholson's effort has been on target. And I can tell you that Hearts have 3 yellow. At the other end. I'm joined by Neil McCann, who played for both of these clubs, and Walter Smith. Walter, will either manager be happy at half-time?
Oh, both managers will be the same. I think they'll want a little bit more from their team. I think, in all probability, if I look there, there's none of the midfield players have actually imposed themselves on the game yet. Rangers have had the best opportunities to go ahead. But as maybe we thought it would be at the start of the game, it's a very tight game, not a lot between the teams. Statistics would show that, and I think that's the way it's turning out. They're looking for a bit of inspiration.
Why is it the midfield players of either side haven't?
Well, I think when you look, especially the middle lot, and I think when we look at the central midfield players of either team, there's not a lot of the time that they've been on the ball. There's not a lot of time for an opportunity to get on the ball and play a pass through. And I think they have to do a bit more in terms of creation of opportunity to help their teams.
Obviously, David Templeton should have.
You can see with Kenny Miller and Chris Boyd's reaction, they know he should have put his side in front, but I don't know what he's trying to do. He sees the keeper scrambling back and he's trying to get height on it and put it in the roof of the net. I think all he has to do is just get a decent connection on it back across and it's a goal. But it's been few and far between the real quality play that Rangers have managed to use to get through Hearts. Again, this is a poor mistake from Hearts to allow Rangers to get in, and again it's a final ball you're looking for from David Templeton is not good enough. He's got an easy stand-up cross, and I mean it's an easy cross because Chris Boyd is wide open, McCarthy's going in to cover the goal and he's put it behind the goal, and it must be so frustrating.
At the other end, Walter, Hearts have 5 new players in their team. What do you think of the way that they've attacked Rangers thus far?
I think they've shown a capability of catching Rangers on the break. Rangers have managed to push some players forward there to no great effect football-wise, but it's given Hearts the opportunity to get through. But their main opportunities have come from set plays, really. That's one of them there. A good cross, but Danny Wilson, who obviously being a central defender, is no fame for that. But anyway, this is what they've got, where they've managed to break away. But it looks as though this is the type of play that Hearts could find to their benefit.
Fielders, and we spoke about it before the game about they need more creativity. With Hearts playing the flat four, Law and Black not doing enough incisive balls through there to get into the two strikers of Millen and Boyd, and then that makes Hearts turn and face their own goals. It's just not been enough of it, and I think that's a key element that's been missing in their play today, because Hearts are looking dangerous on the break.
Well, they certainly are. Let's see if both managers are listening, guys, because the second half is coming up next. Goalless in the first half, but you never know. We have seen enough intent from both sides. Goals might come in the second half. It's coming up next. Well, today's game is the first of 4 from the SPFL this coming week. We're in the Premiership on Wednesday with the Scottish Cup holders against the champions. That's on Sky Sports 5. Then again on Saturday, Celtic unfurl the Premiership flag against Dundee United. 12:30 on Sky Sports 3. On the Championship next Sunday, it's Hearts against Hibs. Midday next Sunday. And we are looking forward to that one. I can tell you Edinburgh is buzzing about that one, given all that's happened in the past few months. Neil McCann and Walter Smith are with me watching Rangers and Hearts. It's 0-0 going into the second half. Walter, were you surprised in the build-up to this game that Robbie Neilson said he'd been preparing to be playing with 10 men? And I know he's already got 3 bookings. What did you make of that?
I was a little bit surprised at that statement. I mean, possibly because Hibs got a player sent off in midweek, he was thinking that would happen. I don't know what would make him think that, whether he was trying to put a pressure on the referee. You can only think that that's going to be the case. The way the game's turning out, in general in Scotland, never mind this game, but in any game, everybody's under the pressure of a yellow card for next to nothing nowadays, and that's what could happen. But I don't know why he's brought that up, I must say.
There's Robbie taking his seat in the dugout there. We're still waiting for the teams to come out. Does saying something like that sow in the seat or sow in the minds of the players that it's okay to get sent off? Because we're prepared for it.
Gamesmanship towards the officials, I don't know. Do they work on every player being sent off? Because you're never really sure. It could be a striker, it could be a midfielder, a centre back, a right back. So I think what is accommodate the fact that if they do go down to 10 men, he's got a shape in his head. But I don't think you can go into a match expecting a player to get sent off, because it's not what you want first and foremost. You want to impose yourself with 11 players on the pitch. They've got the chance to do that in the second half.
And he will be hoping he's not proved right on that one, and he keeps 11 men on the park. Let's rejoin our commentators then for the second half. It's Andy Walker and Ian Crocker.
One or both of these famous old clubs could be back in the top flight next season, but that will take some doing in such a strong league. Have they got what it takes? It's Hearts who start the second half. And although the first half was engaging at times, there was only one effort on target, that header from Sam Nicholson. Both teams will be looking to improve on that.
Yeah, I think in terms of penetration, just out of imagination, we're looking for more. There are players who are capable on it. I think sometimes you have to accept a bit of responsibility.
Taking a sore one. Ian Black sends it towards Lee McCulloch. fends off McGee, now Nicky Law. It's a foul by Gomez. Useful free kick for Rangers right at the second half.
Yeah, and I think sometimes these fouls can really prove to be costly. This is another excellent position for Rangers to get a really good ball into the box.
It's Law to take this one for a change. Now the corner for Lewis McLeod to send in. Here it comes from McLeod. McCulloch able to steer it goalwards. King. It's come off Carrick.
Well, he's looking to the heavens. I think he knows he could have done a bit better. Maybe try and get a full head on it. Was a difficult one to try and control.
Foster. Billy King. Played by McCulloch. Now Lee Wallace. Kenny Miller. Chris Boyd making a run, but it's stopped by Öztürk. Kenny Miller showing some desire, which always goes down well in these parts.
Well, Ian Black is struggling. I think earlier on when he played that pass, Ian, he just looked as though he was uncomfortable. He's gone down now, and Rangers are already making a change.
Game is up against his former club. Kyle Hutton will come on to replace him. Hutton himself had a season disrupted by injuries last time around, and he played 10 times in League One. Be hoping to see a bit more action for sure. Ian Black will be gutted at having to leave the field. McGee, Gomez, nobbled by Templeton.
And again, we talk about taking responsibility. Hutton as well, and his young teammate McLeod. Rangers players, you're in the first team, you have to take responsibility and get on the ball. Make sure you're contributing to the team performance.
And McGee, who's on a yellow card, has caught Templeton.
Well, it's clearly a foul, but I think you're right, Ian, to highlight the fact that when you are on a yellow card, you can so easily pick up another. He really has to think about what tackles to make.
It's a foul by Lee Wallace on King. Hearts did actually win on their last visit to Ibrox back in March 2012. Ian Black scored for them in that game. That was their only success in their last 17 trips here. Boabin, McHattie, the Rangers throw.
Well, under pressure at the back there, Hearts still prepared to take the ball to feet and play it out. They're in tight situations there. But unfortunate to see it go out of the park.
The boys watching intensively, hoping for a breakthrough for Rangers in their first league game of the season. Hutton making his presence felt, catching Boabin. McHattie. Miller. on to Hearts. Hattie's throw. Here he is again. And again, King. Wilson's cross. Lee Wallace, well aware that Dale Carrick was right behind him. It's a corner for Hearts.
Well, he's complaining to hands on his back. You see here as he defends this corner. You can see just a slight push there from Dale Carrick, but it's not spotted by the officials, and Hearts just allowing their big men to get forward here.
Billy King's corner. And it's in! And it's Danny Wilson, the former Rangers man. Well, start as you mean to go on. Hearts have the lead at Ibrox.
Well, that's how you meet a difficult ball. His timing for this cross, absolutely terrific. Taking the applause of the Hearts fans there. And this ball, there's no real pace on it, it's just driven in, right into the heart of the box. And it looks as though McCulloch, it goes over his head. But Danny Wilson, the timing of it, he meets it so well. Lee Wallace actually has two arms around his waist, and he still gets above him and gets that ball into the back of the net.
His only goal in his time at Rangers was against Hearts. Can Rangers respond? Well, Danny Wilson, who came through the Rangers Academy, has had a say on his return to Ibrox. Hearts have something to defend. Osman Sow will show interest in this, but across comes
stay back by Robbie Neilson. Not want to venture too far forward, and Hearts now making a change of their own here.
Brad Mackay is going to come on, and Jordan McGee will be replaced. Callum Patterson occupied the right back role in Hearts' first game of the season in the Challenge Cup, but he's injured.
I think that's sensible. He was on a yellow card, 4 fouls.
It didn't take long for Brad Mackay to concede a foul and get a yellow card.
Yeah, and had that been Jordan McGee, maybe Hearts down to 10 men. Sensible move by Robbie Neilson there. It's a clear foul. Templeton does well. One touch to control, and then he's away. Cynical challenge. Quite rightly draws a yellow card.
Mackay becomes the third Hearts fullback to be booked in this game. The Rangers have a free kick as they look for a quick equaliser. Nicky Law takes. Boy felt he was impeded.
Really dreadful that they can't get a decent ball into the box. And you've sent everyone up there, Lucas, McCulloch. Really aimless. Nicky Law's a far better player than that.
1,700 Hearts fans here at Ibrox, and they are loving it just now, as will those watching back in Edinburgh. Prince Boabin, Billy King, Mackay. Still worked out from McCulloch. Here's Nicky Law. Hutton. Wallace. Zaliukas. Foster. Rangers had to dig deep to overcome Hibs here in midweek. They must do the same now against Hearts. Strong challenge from McLeod on McHattie.
Well, he knows they've got a way back into this game. He's got Kenny Miller, Chris Boyd. I don't think they're getting the service that they would hope for. There's a bit of frustration on Miller and Boyd. Normally they're used to balls coming in from the right and the left, but Rangers, I think, struggling to get any sort of penetration down the right or left.
McLeod then to send this in. McCulloch showing interest and claiming a corner. It is a corner. Rangers need a positive response to going behind to Danny Wilson's header. Everyone jostling for position in a crowded 6-yard box. McLeod flipped on by Miller. McCulloch! Boyd trying to scramble it in, and somehow Hearts kept it out.
Yeah, desperate defending, but it worked for Hearts. Boyd frustrated again.
Close, but not close enough for Rangers, who will come back for more now with Kenny Miller. Lee McCulloch. Zaliukas. Asking a lot of Templeton. Away by Mackay, but only to Miller. Miller won it back. Here's Lewis McLeod. Rangers fans on their feet. But it's put away for a corner by Wilson.
Yeah, he gave it away, Kenny Miller, but his hunger and desire, he won it back and he keeps Rangers on the attack.
McLeod tries again. Cleared by Carrick. Lee Wallace pointing to where he wants Kyle Hutton. It's Templeton to receive it. Wallace issuing many an instruction to his teammates as the rain tumbles down at Ibrox. Almost an hour played. Foster.
Nicholson back there helping out. Foster trying to get to the byline but can't get the ball into the box. He did have the chance earlier, and it was Lee McCulloch actually who had a decent effort at goal here. Just at the front post there. Can't make a good connection, and Boyd also trying to guide it in with his left foot. Still blocked by that Hearts defence. Great defending.
Cometh the hour, Hearts are ahead at Ibrox. On by Boyd. Rangers have scored in their last 41 league matches since a goalless draw at Montrose 18 months ago. They actually clinched the bottom division title that day. A fair amount of time for Hearts to negotiate yet. Foster launches it towards McCulloch. McLeod. Zaliukas. Templeton. Nicky Law. McLeod. McLeod. Able to find Wallace. Full kick is given. Lewis McLeod's favour.
Yeah, and I think this is an example of just the intent. Had he left his leg there, that would have been a clear foul. No contact, but I think the referee's right to give a kick to Rangers here. Again, very promising position. Will it be a shot at goal or a cross into the box?
Lee McCulloch and Danny Wilson grappling. Craig Thompson holding up the free kick for now as he has a word with them both. It's Nicky Law, and it's claimed confidently by Neil Alexander. He's hurt and so's Ozturk.
Just don't think there's enough quality on that ball. I mean, he's taking a hit here, Neil Alexander. And it's too high. There's too much weight on it. He's not giving any of his teammates a chance to really go and attack it. It's the goalkeeper and two of his own defenders that are always going to win that ball.
Both in urgent need of treatment after that nasty clash.
Well, that's the man that's made all the difference. I thought he took up an interesting starting position. Look at Danny Wilson here on the back post. This is obviously crouching down, then he comes into the danger area. Wallace getting a grip of him but making absolutely no difference. He attacked the ball so cleanly and his header right into the roof of the net.
Neil Alexander in some discomfort there, but Ali Ozturk is back on his feet.
You can see the blood on his left arm there from Alexander. Hopefully he'll be able to make a quick recovery.
Last time Rangers lost their opening home match in the league, Kenny McDowell there scored the winner for St Mirren back in 1989. Now assistant manager to Ali McCoist. This could well be a lengthy delay as check out Neil Alexander. Doesn't look good for him.
Well, it's a poor free kick. Alexander totally committed. The back of his central defender, Ozturk, right into, it must be his nose. I mean, you've got a stretcher coming on now, and it doesn't look good for Neil Alexander.
Well, this will be a story because Hearts' backup keeper now, Scott Gallagher, was at Rangers until last month. In fact, he was in their goal at the start of last season because Cammy Bell couldn't play. It looks like he will be needed here.
I didn't want to say. Now the Rangers players getting a bit of instruction from their management team at the side of the pitch here as they take in some fluid. Robbie Nielsen clearly has to make the change with the keeper. This will be an interesting last, well, it might be as much as half an hour now.
One former Rangers keeper having to be stretchered off here, and another former Rangers keeper about to replace him. It's a sorry sight for Neil Alexander, who would certainly have relished coming back here to the club that he spent 5 years with. But he really looks in a bad way. And all around, Ibrox. Applause for Neil Alexander. Neil Alexander, UEFA Cup winner in his time at Rangers. Played in that final. So, Scott Gallagher. Played the first 6 games of last season for Rangers whilst they waited for Cammy Bell to be eligible. Kept 4 clean sheets in those games. He's going to make an unexpected appearance. A quick return to Ibrox.
See how he is on cross balls, chase down pass backs, put him under pressure as much as you can.
A 3.5-minute delay whilst Neil Alexander received treatment. So there'll be a fair chunk of stoppage time as we enter the final quarter of this contest. Rangers with work to do. Marks in no great rush. I will take this throw. Victory here would certainly set them up nicely for the Edinburgh Derby and for the season in general. They're not there yet. A few moans and groans. Miller. Fouled by McHattie.
What, the 18-yard box?
McLeod. Possible break on here for Hearts of sorts. Dale Carrick moving ahead of Billy King. As Hutton who had to keep up with Carrick.
Yeah, I like to pass way back at the edge of the box from Wabben. He didn't just lump it up the park aimlessly. Calm and composed, found his teammate and allowed Hearts to attack on the break.
Dean Shields will be coming on shortly for Rangers, but this is how the goal came about. Billy King corner, Danny Wilson header. Hearts trying something similar. It was Kenny Miller who put it behind, or Boyd rather.
That's a good job he's doing there. Using his aerial ability defensively.
Billy King tries again. Ozturk will be first to it. Nothing doing for Wilson that time.
Yeah, he's annoyed. Sorry, Ian. I think he's annoyed that Sam gave him a shout. He was behind him. He didn't hear anything, but Rangers making the change now. Templeton giving way.
Dean Shields will come on. Templeton, who missed that glaring header in the first half that might just away, is replaced. Dean Shields, former Hibs man, coming on against Hearts. High into the sky by Mackay. Lee Wallace will take this. And Braben clipping Miller. Lee McCulloch is far post at the moment, but about to make his run as Wallace sends it in. Ozturk sent it out. McLeod. Hutton. Wallace. It's becoming a little anxious for Rangers now as they pursue an equaliser. They never lost a ball in the league last season. Here they are trailing on the opening weekend of this campaign. Foster. And again. One back brilliantly by Sam Nicholson. Valiukas. Wallace. Shields unable to maintain the momentum. McCulloch across.
Well, it's a home support that's very quiet, and to be fair, they haven't had a great deal to cheer about. No real sustained pressure on that Hearts goal. Neither Neil Alexander nor Scott Gallagher have been asked to do anything spectacular.
Cloud. Away by Ozturk. Mackay picked a Boyd to it. Wilson. Foster. It's a free kick for Rangers. Hutton will take it.
Well, McCulloch in the traffic here. He's asking Boyd to go behind him. This is going to be a long diagonal. Maybe play for the second ball.
Hutton took the free kick. Shields. Confronted by Braben. Hutton took the shot on, but it's miserable. And ends up heading towards the Hearts fans over in that corner. What a start to the season for Hearts. They're 1-0 up at Ibrox. And next Sunday, they face their Edinburgh rivals, Hibs at Tynecastle. You can see it from midday on Sky Sports 3. It's the first time there's been no Edinburgh club in the top flight of Scottish football. They'll both try and make up for that a bit next Sunday, no doubt. Quarter of an hour to go. It's becoming a bit of a slog for Rangers. His next game is at Falkirk on Friday night. Another tricky match. Wallace shrugged off Carrick's attempt to foul him. McCulloch. Foster. Cloud. Miller.
Afternoon, Danny Wilson, not only his goal, just general defending, top class.
Zaliukas. Shields. Snuffed out by Braben. Lee Wallace will take this. Kenny Miller. Foster. Nicky Law. McLeod back to Foster. Wilson intervened before it ran through to Boyd. Tense times at Ibrox. Big cry there from Osman Sow, wanted a free kick. Nothing doing. Lee Wallace.
I think one of Hearts' strengths this afternoon has been to keep Lee Wallace fairly quiet in terms of, you know, him going forward, getting to the byline. Maybe only once or twice so far he's managed to get there. That's down to the way Hearts are playing.
Going to be a yellow card coming the way of Danny Wilson on an incident-packed afternoon for him.
Again, Wilson just knew what he was doing, quite cynical. I don't know how many free kicks in this type of area that Rangers have had this afternoon, and every one has been of a poor quality.
Danny Wilson, the fifth Hearts player to be booked. Quick free kick from McCulloch. Goal kick.
Well, a different take this time. Played in short to the feet of McCulloch, but even that doesn't work out for Rangers. Wallace aware of that quick move from Miller and McCulloch. McCulloch pleading in vain some sort of foul, but they'll have to come up with something better than that to get an equaliser.
Hutton losing out. Cassie's going to take on the shot. He's out of position now, which might benefit Rangers. Foster. Richard Foster is going to receive a yellow card now.
Again, Wilson knowing exactly what he's doing, sees the tackle coming in, moves the ball away. Conditions don't help Foster there, but it's a clear foul. I don't think he's got too many complaints about the yellow. And it, once again, just takes his sting out of the game.
Just over 10 minutes to go. Time for the number 10 to come on for Hearts. Jason Holt. There's King, who will be the man to be replaced with here. Away by McLeod, now Boyd. Hutton, here's Wallace. Shields got there ahead of Gomez. And Thompson had a little think about that one, but gave the free kick. And McCulloch will go up again. Hutton. Out. Wilson's header just dropped away. Carrick.
I expected Lewis McLeod just to take that ball on. He had the space. We try and get a better quality into the box, but that was pretty aimless.
The King, who made the goal, will be replaced here by Jason Holt. Holt, who attracted interest from Nottingham Forest last season. Tidy player. It was actually Dale Carrick who was replaced in the end, not Billy King. Foster. So Boabin. Hutton allowed to continue. Holt. McHatty's throw, back by Nicholson. Free kick. Rangers for a late challenge. I'll tell you that Neil Alexander has been taken to hospital to have his cheekbone checked. Let's hope it's not as bad as it looked. Rangers need to ask some questions of Alexander's replacement, Scott Gallagher, their former keeper.
Yeah, since he's come on, he's had to do absolutely nothing other than field a pass back. There's been no crosses of any quality into the box. Just poor stuff from Rangers.
Gomez. Gomez, collected by Cammy Bell. Just over 43,500 inside Ibrox, the majority of them urging Rangers on for an equaliser. Shields, Miller, McLeod, Foster, Hutton, Foster, met by Wilson. Quite a bit has been. Hutton, Zaliukas. Hutton, Foster. Rangers hoping for a break in front of goal. But Gallagher has got to grips with that.
Well, at least he's been called into action. But again, no real quality on the close, no pace on it. Easy height for a goalkeeper to try and judge that. I think he'll be quite happy to come and take it and be involved in the game. Rangers have given their supporters absolutely nothing to get excited about.
He thought that Lee Wallace was injured there and threw the ball out, but Wallace is okay. Rangers legend Barry Ferguson watching on. A strange experience for him a week tomorrow. He will bring his Clyde side here in the Challenge Cup. Five minutes left for Rangers to save their opening day. Miller. Gomez tracking Shields. Kenny Miller looking to get involved here. Free kick has gone to Rangers.
Again, another marvellous opportunity to get a bit of quality into the box. Will it be on top of the goalkeeper? Will they put a bit of pace on it? What sort of ball are they going to come up with here?
It's McLeod. McCulloch trying to make contact. Zaliukas did. Blocked en route. Foster is covering. That's happy to accept a throw though.
Well, the free kick comes in and it falls to Zaliukas, a good one, but look at that diving block there from Ozturk. Hearts defending so well. Danny Wilson's been terrific. Alongside him, Ozturk getting a vital block in there.
Shields, there'll be a foul by Gomez. And another yellow card for Gomez, and that's 6 Hearts players booked now They've never had the best disciplinary record of recent times, that's for sure. A regular fine comes their way. Boyd couldn't set anyone up. Jason Holt could be a problem here for Rangers. Hearts fancying this. Holt gets a corner out of it.
Yeah, I thought he might have spotted his teammate Billy King just coming into the back post here as Holt driving forward. So just keeps his place in the middle. Wallace comes over to cover, but just on the edge of the box, Billy King was here. But at this stage of the season, or rather at this, I'm sure they're happy to settle for a corner, eat up some more time.
Nicholson. So, up against Zaliukas. It's quite a tangle. Kenny Miller back there. McHattie. Nicky Law. Jason Hall. The offender that time. Rangers are running out of time. Staring at their league defeat since the end of the season before last against Peterhead.
Well, Hearts have certainly competed well. They've given away a whole host of net fouls, picked up a series of yellow cards, but competed very well.
McLeod. Boyd. Miller. Hearts were looking for a free kick. Wabben. Osman So. Wabben. It's Wabben. And it's clutched by Cammy Bell. Crucially, perhaps, if Rangers can score.
Yeah, Rangers are taking a chance now because, as you can see, Lee McCulloch going as a centre forward. Just the last few minutes, they'll be playing very direct football.
There must be a fair amount of stoppage time because of Neil Alexander's injury. In fact, the word is from the touchline that there will be 6 minutes of stoppage time. The Rangers will be rather more pleased about that than Hearts. So, 90 minutes almost up. But quite a few more to come. Away by Mackay, here's Wallace. 6 minutes of time is confirmed at Ibrox. Miller, Nicky Law! And he scores! Relief for Rangers! Just into stoppage time! They might have saved their opening day.
Well, he was just announced as the man of the match, and there's a few boos ringing around the stadium. Look at his movement here, he's not picked up at all. I think Ozturk makes a mistake, he goes outside the box. Look at Ozturk, and look at the way he goes here. Instead of defending the danger area, he goes outside the box. He leaves Nicky Law in isolation here, and to be fair, he takes a really difficult ball well. So often players will snatch at that, they'll go over the bar, and despite the attempt of Scott Gallagher, it ends up in the back of the net.
It looked for a moment like Gallagher would save it, but Nicky Law, who scored an extra on Tuesday, has rescued Rangers again. But here's Osman So, and he scores! An incredible end to the game. Hearts hit the front again. What a start to their season! Victory at Ibrox beckons.
What an astonishing response. The Hearts supporters felt as though their team had given up 2 points here. And when you see the way that this goal is created, Rangers not close to the ball at all, but it's a wonderful take from Osman So. Lucas can't get the block in. He's close enough to him, but he finds the perfect angle to get it through the legs here of Zalewskis. He's trying to get the block in through the legs and right into the corner. Bell had made a great save earlier. He can't keep that one out.
10 seconds from the kickoff. A really classy finish from Osman Sow. But here's Wallace. Can Rangers come again? It's Kenny Miller. It's close, but Rangers needed more.
Well, here's Wallace getting to the byline. Maybe the first real attempt in the game. It comes so quickly to Kenny Miller. He can't adjust quickly enough to get it on target. A remarkable few minutes here. There's a man who I think has had a terrific performance, and so's come up with what looks like the winning goal.
In the aftermath of Nicky Law's goal, Darren McGregor came on, but there was quite a lot going on at the time. This is broken kindly to King. Halfway through stoppage time, still 3 minutes left. Rangers thought they had saved their day. Osman Sow might have decided otherwise.
In terms of scoring goals and creating goals, he'll be a big asset for Hearts this season.
King. Here's Holt. Nicholson. Holt. There's been much to admire about Hearts. They're on the verge of a victory here, with the Edinburgh derby to come a week today. Osman Sow. Rangers with just a couple of minutes left now. And that's only trickled for a throw-in. McCoy's side hold themselves level, but quickly found themselves behind again in extraordinary circumstances. Flicked on by McLeod, by McCulloch. Holt. Boivin is down at the moment. He's certainly put a shift in as usual. The 6 minutes of stoppage time. Looks like might have had the last say on this opening day for Rangers and Hearts. McGregor.
Well, we know that our young players have got Premiership experience, despite getting relegated last season. The new boys, So, Ozturk, seem to be fitting in well, and Hearts will be a team that will challenge Rangers all the way this season.
Danny Wilson will send that away. Free kick for Hearts will add to Rangers' frustration. He's been excellent against his former club. But Hearts on their way with a cracking header and has defended admirably for Robbie Nielsen's team. The game is almost up. Nearly, but not quite. Nicholson. Well, that will do for starters for Hearts. A victory at Ibrox. A few boos for Rangers, but cheers for Hearts. Osman Sow settled it in stoppage time, and that was just after Nicky Law that equalised for Rangers. but so decided to have the final say. Danny Wilson had put Hearts in front, and it was immense at the back. And 17 fans are going to milk this moment, and you can't blame them. The revival off the pitch is well underway at this famous old club, Hearts, and they're looking pretty good for a revival of fortune on the pitch as well. Rangers, who didn't lose at all in the league last season, lose on the opening day of this campaign as the young ones of Hearts go to take their bow, and rightly so. It's finished at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Hearts 2.
Absolutely extraordinary final couple of minutes to this game. And no wonder those Hearts supporters are celebrating. They had a horrible season last year. 15 points down before a ball was kicked because the club was in administration. They pretty much knew that would relegate them. They got more points than Hibs, but still went down automatically. And the Rangers supporters, well, they didn't see their side lose a single one of their 36 League One games last year. Contrasting emotions. And congratulations to that pair there. Robbie Neilson, former Hearts captain, now of course head coach in the new regime, getting a win in his debut, and it's one of his new signings, that young man there, Osman Sow, who came in from Crystal Palace and gave this game an extraordinary ending. And now he gets his first taste of the Edinburgh Derby, and we are live from Tynecastle next Sunday afternoon with Robbie Neilson in the dugout for the first time in the Derby. And if he does half as good in derbies as his predecessor Gary Locke, then it will be a hell of a start for him as the man in charge in the dugout of Hearts. Plenty of reaction coming up to this game right now, but later on Sky Sports 4 at 4 it's the PGA Championship, and Rory McIlroy has a one-shot lead there going into the final day at Valhalla. Whoa, what an ending, what a lot to talk about with Neil and Walter. Reaction from them is coming up next.
Billy King's corner, and it's in! Danny Wilson! Miller, Nicky Law! And he scores! It's Osman Sow, and he scores! An incredible end to the game! Hearts in the front again! What a start to their season! Victory in Ibrox beckons!
What a result for Hearts. From their two goal scorers, they're with Luke Shanley.
Danny Osman, well done. Danny, how big a win was that for Hearts?
It was a good win for us. We're not going to get too ahead of ourselves. It's a long season, but we worked hard today. We know we can play better, but 3 points is the most important thing, and it's not easy to come to Ibrox and do that, and we've managed to do that today.
What were you thinking when Rangers equalised?
We know they'd had a spell of pressure, and sometimes if they keep knocking on the door, they're going to get the goal. But the big man, he's been brilliant since he came in, and he took his goal brilliantly well, and we're ecstatic for him, and we're all delighted with the 3 points today.
Osman, talk us through your goal and what was going through your head when you were through on goal.
Just hit the post, and that's it.
How big a win was it for Hearts, given the goalkeeper went off, Rangers equalised late on?
Yeah, it's important to get points in early in the season, and 3 points first game is what you want.
Well done. Danny's the man of the match. Can you hand over the champagne, please?
Well done, Danny.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well done.
Thank
Cheers.
You.
And will that, Walter, be exactly what Hearts came here to do?
Of course, that's what they came to do. They did it very well. Rangers created very few opportunities against them. They defended well, were prepared to break away. And at the end of the day, I don't think Rangers will get any complaints about the result, although they'll be absolutely disappointed by the manner in which it happened.
For the opening goal, was it down to a great header by Danny Wilson on his return to Ibrox, or was it poor defending?
Well, it's a bit of both. It's a clipped ball, so it's into an area that Hearts can go and attack. But as we see in the next phase here, Lee Wallace is Wilson up in the back post. You'll see him highlighted in a moment there. Okay, so Danny Wilson then comes off the post to get a run on him. As soon as he is ball side, Lee Wallace is finished. Danny Wilson then becomes favourite and can he get enough on the head to then go and put it in target, and he does, and it actually just clips Lee Wallace on the way into the net. But it's Lee Wallace not being switched on, not getting himself in front of Danny Wilson to stop him from getting an easy run to go and attack that ball. And it's a great header, it's a good delivery as well, you have to say.
And this is Nicola's stoppage time equaliser. Miller and Boyd didn't score today, but were they involved in this?
Yes, they were involved in this. I mean, obviously Rangers under a bit of pressure to get the ball into the box. They had it. Chris Boyd does very well there, putting Danny Wilson off, crossed by Kenny Miller, and Nicky Law gets in and gets a finish. Obviously at that stage we thought that's the way the game would finish, was at 1-1. But it was the first time Rangers actually put Hearts under a bit of pressure in the box, and it fell to the creation of that goal.
With the way Rangers set up here from the kick-off.
Well, we were just talking about it there just now. I mean, a substitution was made at the time, and McGregor just coming on for Foster. I don't think he's actually properly installed in his position.
He's jogging on. Well, this is a Hearts are already taking the kick-off. Ball goes to Nicholson, whereas Foster would have been there. If McGregor's on quicker, he's in a position to go and engage him. Nicholson drives in, and it's actually a lovely little incisive pass. He could have gone safe and gone to the left. He finds Big So, and that is a brilliant finish. A quite brilliant finish. On the move, his first touch is exquisite, and he's hitting it across him. So many times you see that defender's going into block it through the legs, but I think it's really bad organisation from Rangers. They should never be caught out with that. You say you're at your most vulnerable when you lose a goal, but to make a substitution, whether Foster was injured or not, I think he maybe was, because I could see him in the background of the equaliser just limping slightly, but he's got to get on there quicker, get into position and get yourself set, because that's criminal. He just wasn't set. That allowed Nicholson to step inside.
Who should be in charge of organising that kind of situation? Who should be the leader in that situation?
Well, if Foster's injured and he has to come off, then there is a situation there where everyone that's on the pitch has to be aware of the fact that that's happening and should have been organised and should have taken place. I mean, it's up to somebody, whoever it is, what players will have to handle that, because in the end of the day, Foster would have been no use in that position if he's injured anyway. So if it's up, you would have hoped the players on the pitch would have realised that there's nobody in that position.
Well, even McGregor's going the whole way across the right back. Where's Zaliukas? McGregor going to a shorter run. He's a centre back.
Guys, going to interrupt you because we're joined now by the Hearts head coach. And congratulations to him. He's with Luke.
Robbie, just how big a win was that for you in your first league game in charge?
Yeah, it was great to come here and get a victory. I thought we knew what the game would be like. We knew it'd be really, really hard for us to come here. There's a really good team, good atmosphere. Obviously, we're getting the league flag and the Sandy Jardine stand as well. We knew there was going to be a big atmosphere here today, and we were going to get after it in the first half. So we kind of rode that storm. Rangers had a few chances, and to be honest, we rode our luck a bit. But sometimes you need that. And then we knew the game would open up a little bit in the second half, and we managed to get playing a little bit more and starting to get in the areas where we know we can hurt people. What
does it say about the character of your team, given that the goalkeeper goes up in on and you still got the park and score?
Yeah, I know it was. To lose a goal towards the end was disappointing, but they showed fantastic character to come back again. This is the easiest place in the world to fold. To lose a goal, the crowd get behind them, 10 minutes to go, and players can fold. I've seen it happen loads of times, and you've got strong characters in there, and it'll set them up for the rest of the league, because to come back again and score another goal, it's fantastic. So happy with them.
Very well done today.
Thank you. Cheers.
He is happy. Doesn't normally smell Robbie, and well done to him today. And the 1,700 Hearts fans who sold out the allocation were well repaid today. Walter, what does this do for Hearts? Automatic promotion.
Well, it gives them a lift, doesn't it? I mean, it gives them a bit of belief. I mean, they have one or two younger players. They have a new group of players, more or less, coming into their team. So it'll give them a bit of belief. And I mean, for them coming here, if they had got a draw today, I still think that would have given them enough of a lift. It would have shown that Rangers creating very few opportunities against them, that they're solid and they're going to be difficult to beat. So they've had a big lift by winning this game.
Walter, thank you very much for joining us today. And Neil, happy 40th birthday to you.
Thanks for that, David.
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Neil.
Yeah, we hadn't forgotten
Still
that one. Well, there's more live football next year on Sky Sports 1. It's Wolves against Norwich in the Championship. Stay with us right here on Sky Sports 1 for that. And we leave you from Ibrox. The Hearts supporters are singing after a victory for them today. Bye for now.
All 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.